The abduction. The stars twinkled peacefully in the night sky of the small town of Millbrook, unaware of the impending chaos about to unfold. 12-year-old Sarah Connor sat on her back porch, gazing up at the constellations through her father's old telescope. Her wild red curls danced in the gentle breeze as she adjusted the focus, searching for the faint glow of distant nebulae. Sarah had always been fascinated by the cosmos. While other kids her age were glued to their phones or video games, she spent her evenings charting stars and dreaming of far-off worlds. Little did she know, those dreams were about to become a terrifying reality. A low hum filled the air, barely noticeable at first, but growing steadily louder. Sarah looked up from her telescope, her green eyes widening as she saw a massive shape blotting out the stars above. It was no cloud or aircraft she recognized. Its surface gleamed with an otherworldly metallic sheen, pulsing with strange lights. "Mom, Dad," Sarah called out, her voice trembling. But before her parents could respond, a brilliant beam of light engulfed her. Sarah felt her feet leave the ground, her stomach lurching as she was pulled upward. She tried to scream, but no sound escaped her lips. In a matter of seconds, she vanished into the alien craft, leaving behind nothing but an overturned telescope and two terrified parents rushing onto an empty porch. Inside the ship, Sarah found herself in a cold, sterile chamber. The walls pulsed with an eerie blue light, and the air smelled of ozone and something alien, acrid and unpleasant. Disoriented and frightened, she huddled in a corner, her mind racing to make sense of what had happened. A door slid open with a hiss, revealing her captors. Sarah gasped as she saw them for the first time. The aliens were tall, easily 7 feet in height, with elongated limbs and gray, scale-like skin. Their heads were hairless and slightly too large for their bodies, with enormous black eyes that seemed to bore into her very soul. One of the creatures stepped forward, raising a device that emitted a soft glow. When it spoke, Sarah heard the words in her mind, rather than with her ears. "Human child," the alien communicated, its thoughts tinged with a mixture of curiosity and disdain. "I am Commander Zix of the Krax Empire. You have been chosen for a great purpose." Sarah summoned her courage, forcing herself to speak despite her fear. What do you want with me? Why did you take me from my home?" Commander Zix's large eyes blinked slowly. "Your species is young, primitive. You cannot begin to comprehend the cosmic forces at play. But know this, your sacrifice will usher in a new era of Krax dominion over the galaxy." The word sacrifice sent a chill down Sarah's spine. She scrambled to her feet, backing away from the alien. "No, you can't do this. I want to go home." But her protests fell on deaf ears. 2 more Krax entered the chamber, flanking her. With surprising gentleness, they guided her out of the room and down a long, curving corridor. Sarah's mind raced, trying to memorize the path they took, searching for any possible means of escape. But the ship was vast and alien. Even as she could break free, she had no idea how to get back to Earth. As they walked, Sarah caught glimpses of the ship's interior through transparent sections of the wall. She saw stars streaking by at impossible speeds, realizing with growing horror that they were already far from Earth. Tears welled up in her eyes as she thought of her parents, of a life she'd been torn away from without warning. Finally, they arrived at what appeared to be the ship's bridge. A massive view screen dominated one wall, showing a sea of stars and swirling nebulae. Krax crew members worked at various stations, their long fingers dancing over holographic displays. Commander Zix addressed the crew. "We have acquired the sacrifice. Set course for the Temple of Awakening. The time has come to reclaim our destiny." The ship surged forward, the stars on the view screen blurring into streaks of light. Sarah felt a sense of hopelessness washing over her. She was alone, surrounded by aliens who saw her as nothing more than a means to an end. How could she possibly escape? How would anyone even know where to look for her? But beneath her fear and despair, a small spark of defiance flickered. Sarah had always been stubborn, always pushed herself to overcome challenges. She taught herself advanced astronomy and physics, devoured every book on space exploration she could find. If there was a way out of this, she would find it. As the Crack's ship hurtled through space, Sarah began to observe her captors more closely. She noted the complex series of gestures they used to operate their technology, the rhythmic clicking sounds they made when communicating among themselves. Every bit of information, no matter how small, might be useful. Days passed, though it was hard for Sarah to track time in the unchanging environment of the ship. She was kept in a small, but not uncomfortable, cabin. The Cracks provided her with food, strange, gel-like substances that tasted vaguely of fruit, and allowed her access to certain parts of the ship under close supervision. Sarah used this time to learn as much as she could. She discovered that the Cracks were an ancient species, once rulers of a vast galactic empire. But millennia ago, they had been overthrown by an alliance of younger races. They retreated to the fringes of the galaxy, nursing their wounded pride and plotting their return to power. The key to their resurgence, Sarah learned, lay in awakening a being of immense power, a creature the Cracks referred to as the Cosmic Devourer. This entity, according to Cracks legends, had the ability to reshape reality itself. With it under their control, the Cracks believed they could reclaim their lost empire and more. But awakening the Devourer required a sacrifice, specifically the life essence of a sentient being from a young, emerging species. The Cracks had scoured the galaxy, searching for a race that fit their criteria. They had found Earth. As the ship neared its destination, Sarah's fear grew. But so did her determination. She knew she couldn't overpower the Cracks or outrun them. Her only hope lay in outsmarting them somehow, in finding a way to turn their own plan against them. The day of the awakening arrived. Sarah was led from her cabin, dressed in a shimmering robe that seemed to absorb and reflect starlight. Commander Zix himself came to escort her to the ritual chamber. "You should feel honored, human child," Zix communicated as they walked. "Your sacrifice will reshape the very fabric of the universe." Sarah lifted her chin defiantly. "My name is Sarah," she replied, "and I'm not just some sacrifice. I'm a person with dreams and a family who loves me. What you're doing is wrong." Zix regarded her with what might have been a flicker of admiration. "You show spirit, Sarah of Earth. But the destiny of the Cracks outweighs the life of one human, no matter how brave." They entered a vast chamber, its high ceiling lost in shadows. At the center stood a raised platform, surrounded by concentric rings of glowing symbols etched into the floor. Cracks lined the walls, their large eyes fixed on Sarah as she was led to the platform. Sarah's heart pounded as she climbed the steps. This was it, her last chance to find a way out. She scanned the room, desperate for any opportunity. But she was surrounded, outnumbered, on an alien ship countless light years from home. As she reached the top of the platform, Sarah saw something that made her breath catch in her throat. Suspended above the platform was a swirling vortex of energy, pulsing with colors she had no names for. Within that maelstrom, she caught glimpses of something vast and ancient, the being the Cracks sought to awaken. Commander Zix raised his arms, addressing the assembled Cracks. "For too long we have waited in the shadows. Today, we reclaim our rightful place as rulers of the galaxy." A chant rose from the crowd, a rhythmic clicking that seemed to resonate with the swirling vortex. Sarah felt the energy around her intensifying, making her skin tingle and her hair stand on end. Zix turned to her, his black eyes gleaming. "It is time, Sarah of Earth. Your sacrifice will usher in a new age." Sarah closed her eyes, tears streaming down her cheeks. She thought of her parents, of the life she'd never get to live. But most of all, she thought of the stars she'd always loved, the endless possibilities they represented. And in that moment, as the energy of the vortex began to envelop her, Sarah made a silent vow. If this truly was to be her end, she would face it with courage. She would show these aliens the strength of the human spirit. Sarah opened her eyes, meeting Zix's gaze without flinching. "I'm not afraid," she said, her voice steady despite her tears. And whatever happens, you haven't won. Humans don't give up. We'll keep exploring, keep growing. And someday, we'll be out among the stars too. The vortex surged, tendrils of energy wrapping around Sarah. She felt a pulling sensation, as if her very essence was being drawn out of her. The chamber filled with a blinding light, and the Krax's chanting reached a fever pitch. But then something unexpected happened. The vortex pull suddenly changed, no longer trying to consume Sarah, but rather connecting with her. In her mind, Sarah heard a voice, ancient, vast, and filled with curiosity. "Young one," the voice resonated in her thoughts. "Your spirit shines brightly. You are not what I expected." As the light faded and Sarah's vision cleared, she realized she was still standing on the platform, very much alive. The Krax had fallen silent, staring at her in shock and confusion. Commander Zix stepped forward, his thoughts a jumble of disbelief and anger. "Impossible," he communicated. "The sacrifice was rejected. How can this be?" Sarah stood tall, feeling a new presence within her mind, vast and powerful, yet somehow gentle. She smiled, realizing that against all odds, she had found an ally in the most unexpected place. "I think," she said, her voice ringing out in the stunned silence, "that your cosmic devourer had other ideas." And with that, the chamber erupted into chaos, marking the beginning of an adventure that would change the fate of galaxies and challenge everything the Krax thought they knew about the universe and about humanity. Cosmic awakening. The chamber of the Krax mothership erupted into pandemonium. Alarms blared, bathing the cavernous space in pulsating red light. Sarah Connor, the 12-year-old human girl who was meant to be a sacrifice, stood defiant on the ritual platform, but she wasn't alone anymore. A shimmering, ethereal presence coalesced beside her. It was Zephyr, the ancient entity the Krax had mistakenly called the Cosmic Devourer. In reality, Zephyr was a being of pure energy and consciousness, as old as the stars themselves. "What's happening?" Sarah whispered, her voice barely audible above the chaos. Zephyr's response echoed in her mind, a symphony of thoughts and emotions. "You've awakened me, young one, but not in the way these Krax intended. Your courage, your spirit, they forged a bond between us." Commander Zix, his grey scales flushed with a sickly purple hue, stormed towards the platform. "Seize them," he roared, his telepathic command hitting Sarah like a physical blow. "The human has corrupted the awakening." Krax soldiers advanced, their elongated limbs moving with unsettling grace. But before they could reach Sarah and Zephyr, a pulse of energy erupted from the ethereal being. The Krax were thrown back, crashing into the chamber walls with dull thuds. Sarah felt a surge of power coursing through her veins. It was exhilarating and terrifying all at once. "Zephyr," she gasped, "what did you do to me?" "I shared a fraction of my essence with you," Zephyr explained. "We are linked now, Sarah of Earth. Your mind, so young and yet so vibrant, has given me new purpose. And in return, I give you the power to shape reality itself." A Krax energy weapon discharged, its beam streaking towards them. Without thinking, Sarah raised her hand. The beam froze in midair, suspended like a thread of lightning. With a flick of her wrist, Sarah sent it careening back towards its source. The weapon exploded in a shower of sparks. "Holy quasars," Sarah breathed, staring at her hands in awe. "This is incredible." Commander Zix's thoughts radiated fury and fear. Impossible. No primitive species could wield such power. Sarah turned to face him, her green eyes now swirling with cosmic energy. "You know what's really impossible, Zix? That you thought kidnapping a kid and trying to sacrifice her was okay. Newsflash, it's not. And now you're about to learn why you don't mess with Earth." With that declaration, Sarah reached out with her newfound powers. The very fabric of space-time rippled around her. Sections of the chamber began to twist and warp, trapping Krax soldiers in bubbles of distorted gravity. "Zephyr," Sarah communicated mentally, "we need to get out of here. Can you help us escape? The energy being pulsed with approval. Indeed, young Sarah, let us show these cracks the true meaning of cosmic power. Zephyr enveloped Sarah in a cocoon of swirling energy. Together, they rose off the platform, hovering above the chaos below. The cracks fired wildly, but their weapons were useless against the barrier Zephyr had created. As they floated towards the chamber's exit, Sarah felt a pang of worry. Wait, Zephyr, what about Earth? The cracks know where it is now. They might attack. Zephyr's response was tinged with amusement. Fear not, clever one. Watch and learn. With a thought, Zephyr expanded its consciousness, touching the minds of every cracks on the ship. Sarah gasped as she felt the connection, experiencing thousands of alien thoughts all at once. People of the cracks, Zephyr's voice boomed in their minds. You have strayed far from the path of wisdom. Your quest for domination has led you to commit terrible acts. But there is hope for redemption. A wave of energy pulsed outward, washing over the entire ship. Sarah watched in amazement as the cracks' memories shifted and changed. I have removed all knowledge of Earth's location from your minds, Zephyr explained. You'll remember your encounter with us, but you will not recall how to find the human homeworld. Let this be a lesson and an opportunity for growth. Commander Zix, his thoughts a maelstrom of confusion and anger, managed to broadcast one final message. This isn't over, human child. The Cracks Empire will not be denied its destiny. Sarah couldn't help but grin. Bring it on, Snakeface. Earth will be ready. With that, Zephyr propelled them through the ship's hull as if it were no more substantial than a soap bubble. They burst into open space, leaving the Cracks' mothership behind. As they soared among the stars, Sarah felt a moment of vertigo. She was floating in the vacuum of space, protected only by Zephyr's energy. It was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. Wow, she breathed, her words somehow carrying in the soundless void. I always dreamed of being out here, but I never imagined it quite like this. Zephyr's essence rippled with warmth. The universe is full of wonders, young Sarah, and now you have the power to explore them all. But first, we must ensure your world's safety. The Cracks are not the only threat lurking in the cosmic shadows. Sarah nodded, her expression turning serious. You're right. We need to warn Earth. But how? We're light years away, and I don't even know which direction home is. Distance is an illusion to beings like me, Zephyr replied. With our combined power, we can bridge the gap between stars in an instant. Focus your thoughts on home, Sarah. Picture it clearly in your mind. Sarah closed her eyes, concentrating. She thought of the small town of Millbrook, of her house with its creaky porch swing. She imagined her parents, probably sick with worry by now. A tear slipped down her cheek as she realized how much she missed them. Well done, Zephyr's voice echoed in her mind. Now, let us make the journey. The universe seemed to twist around them. Stars blurred into streaks of light, and for a moment, Sarah felt as if she was everywhere and nowhere at once. Then, with a flash of cosmic energy, they were there, hovering high above the familiar blue-green sphere of Earth. We did it! Sarah exclaimed, her heart soaring at the sight of her home planet. But now what? We can't just float down to the White House lawn and ask to speak to the president. Zephyr's energy pulsed with what felt like laughter. Perhaps not, but I sense a gathering of your world's scientific minds. They've detected our arrival and are currently in a state of what you might call complete freakout. Shall we pay them a visit? Sarah grinned, her eyes sparkling with mischief and cosmic power. Oh yeah, let's go blow some minds. As they descended towards Earth, Sarah felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. She was about to change the course of human history. Earth would never be the same after today. But with Zephyr by her side and the power of the cosmos at her fingertips, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Little did Sarah know, her journey was only beginning. The Cracks were still out there, licking their wounds and plotting revenge. And in the vast expanse of the universe, Other ancient and powerful beings were stirring, their attention now turned towards the young species that had formed an unprecedented bond with one of their own. The stage was set for an epic adventure that would span galaxies, challenge the laws of physics, and prove once and for all that humanity's greatest strength lay not in technology or weapons, but in the indomitable spirit of a single brave young girl from a small town called Millbrook. As they broke through Earth's atmosphere, a streak of light against the sky, Sarah whispered, "Look out, universe. Earth is entering the game, and we're playing for keeps." Galactic diplomacy unleash. The skies above the secretive Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico erupted in a dazzling display of cosmic fireworks. Scientists and military personnel scrambled for cover as Sarah and Zephyr made their grand entrance, descending in a swirling vortex of starlight and quantum energy. Dr. Samantha Reeves, lead astrophysicist at Arecibo, stood her ground, her jaw dropping as she witnessed the impossible. Sweet Einstein on a hoverboard, she breathed, adjusting her glasses. "Is that a child?" Sarah, her red coals now streaked with shimmering cosmic energy, touched down on the observatory's massive radio telescope dish. She grinned, giving a cheeky wave to the astonished onlookers. "Hi there, I'm Sarah Connor, and this is my friend Zephyr. We come in peace. Mostly." Zephyr, a being of pure energy, coalesced into a form vaguely resembling a nebula in humanoid shape. Its voice resonated in the minds of all present. "Greetings, humans of Earth. Your world stands on the brink of a new era." Chaos erupted as government agents, scientists, and military personnel all started shouting at once. Sarah rolled her eyes, then lifted her hand. With a pulse of cosmic power, she created a shimmering bubble of silence around the group. "Okay, folks," she said, her voice somehow amplified. "I know this is a lot to take in, but we've got a galaxy-sized problem on our hands, and Earth needs to level up fast. So, let's skip the freakout and get down to business." Dr. Reeves, recovering her composure, stepped forward. "I'm Dr. Samantha Reeves. Sarah, was it? Would you mind explaining how a young girl came to possess, well, seemingly godlike powers?" Sarah's eyes twinkled. "It's a long story involving alien kidnappers, a cosmic entity, and a ritual gone hilariously wrong. But the TLOHDR version, I accidentally mind-melded with Zephyr here, and now we're Earth's first line of defense against some seriously cranky aliens called the Cracks." A stern-looking man in a crisp military uniform pushed his way to the front. "General Thaddeus Blackstone, United States Space Force. Young lady, I'm going to need you to come with us. This is a matter of national security." Sarah raised an eyebrow, cosmic energy crackling around her. "With all due respect, General, this is way bigger than just America. We're talking galactic security here." Zephyr's form pulsed, projecting a holographic map of the Milky Way. "The Cracks Empire spans vast regions of space. Though we've temporarily hidden Earth's location from them, they will not rest until they find your world again." Dr. Ree's eyes widened as she studied the map. "The sheer scale of this, it's beyond anything we've imagined. Sarah, Zephyr, what can we do?" Sarah grinned, a plan forming in her mind. "Well, first things first. Earth needs to unite. No more petty squabbles over borders or resources. We're all in this together now." She waved her hand, and the holographic display zoomed in on Earth. With a thought, Sarah created a shimmering network of energy connecting every major city on the planet. "I call it the cosmic internet," she explained. "Instant, unhackable communication for everyone on Earth. Consider it a gift to kickstart our global unity project." General Blackstone sputtered. But the security implications, the economic impact." Sarah shrugged. "Change is scary, I get it. But you know what's scarier? Being unprepared when the Cracks come knocking. Now, who's ready for lesson 2? Faster than light travel on a budget." Over the next few hours, Sarah and Zephyr downloaded the equivalent of several alien civilizations' worth of scientific knowledge into Earth's computers. anti-gravity technology, zero-point energy generators, and the basics of psychic shielding were just the start. As news of the extraordinary events at Arecibo spread across the globe, the world watched in awe as a 12-year-old girl and her cosmic companion reshaped human civilization in real time. "And for our next trick," Sarah announced, her eyes gleaming with mischief, "we're going to need a volunteer. Any world leaders in the house willing to take a quick trip to Alpha Centauri?" Before anyone could respond, a sleek black helicopter appeared on the horizon, bearing the seal of the United Nations. As it touched down, out stepped a figure that made even Sarah pause. "Well, well," a familiar voice called out. "When I was told a cosmic-powered preteen was revolutionizing Earth, I just had to see for myself." Sarah's jaw dropped. "No way, you're... The newcomer grinned, adjusting his signature sunglasses. "Yep, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, at your service, UN Special Envoy for Extraterrestrial Affairs, as of about 20 minutes ago." Zephyr's energy form rippled with curiosity. "This human possesses an unusually high charisma rating. Sarah, is he your planet's leader?" Sarah laughed. "Not officially, but honestly, he might as well be." The Rock strode forward, offering his hand to Sarah. "So, little lady, I hear you're putting together a team to save the world. Got room for one more?" Sarah's grin threatened to split her face. "Oh, this is going to be epic. Zephyr, fire up the Cosmic Express. We're taking the Rock to space." As Sarah, Zephyr, and Earth's most electrifying diplomat prepared to embark on their interstellar mission, the world held its breath. The age of cosmic adventure had begun, and humanity's first ambassador was about to lay the smackdown on unsuspecting alien civilizations across the galaxy. Little did they know, light years away, the cracks were regrouping. Commander Zix, his pride wounded, but his determination unbroken, plotted his revenge. The stage was set for a showdown that would shake the very foundations of the cosmos. As they prepared to depart, Sarah turned to the assembled crowd, her eyes glowing with cosmic fire. "Remember Earth. Keep calm, stay united, and if anyone asks, tell them the universe ain't ready for what we're cooking." With a flash of light and a thunderclap of displaced air, Sarah, Zephyr, and the Rock vanished into the cosmic ether, leaving behind a world forever changed and a future bright with possibilities. The greatest adventure in human history had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. Cosmic Throwdown, Earth's finest versus the galaxy. The sleek, otherworldly vessel, known as the Cosmic Chariot, burst into existence just outside the Andromeda Galaxy, leaving a trail of shimmering stardust in its wake. Inside the ship's holographic control room, an unlikely trio prepare for their most daring mission yet. Sarah Connor, the 12-year-old cosmic prodigy, floated cross-legged in the center, her red curls defying gravity. Zephyr, the ancient energy being, pulsed around her like a living aurora borealis, and completing their team, looking slightly queasy but no less determined, was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, UN Special Envoy and humanity's most charismatic diplomat. "Whoa, hold up," The Rock said, steadying himself against a console made of pure light. "Did we just cross 2 million light-years in like 5 seconds? Sarah grinned, her eyes sparkling with stellar energy. "Welcome to the fast lane, big guy. Zephyr and I call it quantum surfing. Pretty gnarly, right?" Zephyr's thoughts resonated through the ship. "We've arrived at the Galactic Council's hidden headquarters. Prepare yourselves. The fate of Earth and countless other worlds hangs in the balance." The Rock cracked his knuckles, a determined glint in his eye. "All right, team. Let's lay the cosmic smackdown on these candy-ass alien politicians." With a thought from Sarah, the Cosmic Chariot phased through the massive space station's shields, materializing directly in the heart of the Galactic Council chambers. Hundreds of alien species, some humanoid, others defying description, turned to stare at the unexpected arrivals. A tall, willowy being with iridescent skin floated forward, I am High Counselor Zixlith. Explain your intrusion immediately or face. If you SME la 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 la. The rock's voice boomed through the chamber, cutting off the alien mid-sentence. What the Rokiki is cooking. Sarah facepalmed, cosmic energy crackling around her. Really? That's how we're opening intergalactic relations. To everyone's surprise, the chamber erupted in cheers. Aliens of all shapes and sizes began chanting, Rocky, Rocky, Rocky. Zixlith's eyes widened in shock. The legendary one. The prophecy spoke of your coming. The rock turned to Sarah, bewildered. Ah, kid, little help here. Sarah focused her cosmic senses, scanning the station's databases in microseconds. She burst out laughing. Oh, this is too good. Apparently, old Earth TV broadcasts have been reaching this part of the galaxy for decades. You're like a major celebrity out here. Seizing the moment, the rock stepped forward, addressing the council. Now listen up, jabronis. Earth's entering the galactic stage, and we're not here to take part. We're here to take over. As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the station. A holographic display flickered to life, showing a massive fleet of warships dropping out of hyperspace. Zixlith gasped. It's the Krax Empire. They found us. Sarah's eyes narrowed. Those scaly creeps just don't know when to quit. She turned to the Rock and Zephyr. You guys handle the diplomacy. I'll deal with our uninvited guests. Before anyone could object, Sarah quantum leaped out of the station, reappearing in open space before the Krax Armada. Cosmic energy surged around her, forming a dazzling aura visible across light years. Inside the lead Krax ship, Commander Zix snarled in frustration. The human child. How did she find us? Sarah's voice echoed through every Krax ship, dripping with sass. Didn't your mom ever tell you? Pick on someone your own size. With a wave of her hand, Sarah began to warp space-time itself. Krax ships found themselves twisted into Mobius strips of metal and energy. Others vanished, only to reappear as miniatures that she flicked away like cosmic marbles. Back in the council chambers, the Rock was working his diplomatic magic. Now listen here, you Rudy-poo candy asses. Earth's not looking for trouble, but if trouble comes knocking, you better believe we'll open up a can of whoop-ass. Zephyr, monitoring the battle outside, broadcasted updates. Sarah Connor has reduced the Krax fleet to 33% capacity. She is now using a supernova as a galactic softball. The Rock grinned. That's how we do it on Earth, baby. Now, who's ready to sign some peace treaties and maybe get a selfie with the people's champ? As the Galactic Council erupted into cheers and the Krax fleet retreated in disarray, a new era of cosmic politics dawned. Earth, led by its unlikely trio of champions, was about to turn the galactic status quo upside down. Sarah reappeared in the chamber, her hair slightly frizzed from stellar winds. So, did we save the galaxy and establish Earth as a major player in cosmic politics? The Rock threw an arm around her shoulders. Kid, we didn't just enter the game. We changed the damn game. Zephyr's energy form pulsed with amusement. It seems the universe was indeed not ready for what Earth was cooking. As news of their victory spread across the cosmos, billions of beings on countless worlds looked to the skies with new wonder and a little fear. Earth had arrived on the galactic stage, and nothing would ever be the same. Little did they know, this was just the beginning. In the depths of uncharted space, ancient forces stirred, awakened by the cosmic shake-up. The true test of Earth's heroes was yet to come. Sarah grinned, cosmic fire dancing in her eyes. All right, team. Who's up for round 2? The Rock raised an eyebrow. You mean there's more? Oh yeah, Sarah laughed. We're just getting started. Next stop, the quantum realm. As the cosmic chariot prepared to dive into realities beyond comprehension, the galaxy held its breath. Earth's wild ride through the cosmos was about to kick into overdrive, and the universe would never be the same again. Quantum quests and multiversal mayhem. The cosmic chariot hurtled through the kaleidoscopic tunnel of the quantum realm, its passengers bracing themselves for the wildest ride of their lives. Sarah Connor, her hair now a literal flame of cosmic energy, manipulated the ship's controls with mere thoughts. Zephyr pulsed around them, acting as a living shield against the reality-warping forces outside. The Rock, looking decidedly less cocky than usual, gripped his seat with white knuckles. Little Pebble, he called out, using his newfound nickname for Sarah. You sure you know how to drive this thing in, whatever this is? Sarah flashed him a mischievous grin. Nope, but that's what makes it fun, right? Suddenly, the ship shuddered, alarms blaring. Zephyr's thoughts echoed urgently in their minds. Warning. Multiversal breach detected. We're being pulled into. Before Zephyr could finish, reality itself seemed to fracture. The cosmic chariot spun wildly, tumbling through shards of broken universes. Glimpses of alternate realities flashed by, a world where dinosaurs never went extinct, another where the Roman Empire never fell, and bizarrely, one where everyone communicated exclusively through interpretive dance. With a teeth-rattling jolt, the ship crash-landed on what appeared to be a suburban front lawn. The trio stumbled out, disoriented. The sky above was a psychedelic swirl of colors, and the grass beneath their feet seemed to be humming a catchy tune. Great goodly moodly, the Rock muttered, taking in their surroundings. I think we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. Sarah's eyes widened as she scanned their new environment. Oh boy. Guys, I think we might have accidentally broken the multiverse. Before they could process this, a figure stepped out of the perfectly normal-looking house before them. It was another Dwayne, the Rock Johnson, but this one wore a cardigan and loafers and sported a distinguished grey beard. Cardigan Rock beamed at them. Well, if it isn't my interdimensional travelers. Welcome to Universe BR 549, where I'm not just the Rock, I'm Mr. Rogers. Our Rock's jaw dropped. No way. There's a universe where I'm nice. Sarah stifled a giggle. I hate to break it to you, big guy, but you're pretty nice in our universe too. Zephyr, meanwhile, had expanded its consciousness, probing the fabric of this reality. This is most concerning. Our quantum leap has caused a cascading effect across multiple dimensions. If we don't stabilize the multiverse soon, all of reality could collapse. As if on cue, the sky above them began to crack, revealing glimpses of other universes bleeding through. In one tear, they saw a world where sentient tacos ruled over humans. In another, books had evolved into the dominant life form and were apparently engaged in a fierce war with e-readers. Okay, Team Sarah said, her voice taking on a leader's tone despite her young age. We need to find the source of these breaches and seal them. Zephyr, can you locate the epicenter of the disturbance? Zephyr pulsed with concentration. Yes, but it's peculiar. The source seems to be emanating from a location known as Comic Con. Both Rocks, our action hero, and the cardigan-wearing version, perked up simultaneously. Did someone say Comic Con? Sarah rolled her eyes. Focus, guys. We've got a multiverse to save. But first, she turned to Cardigan Rock. Don't suppose you've got any quantum-stabilizing tech lying around. Cardigan Rock smiled warmly. Well, neighbor, as it happens, I've been working on a little project in my garage. Follow me. As they trailed behind this alternate version of the Rock, our Rock leaned in to whisper to Sarah. Is it just me, or is this the weirdest thing that's ever happened, even for us? Sarah grinned. Oh, trust me, it's about to get a whole lot weirder. Cardigan Rock's garage turned out to be a mind-bending laboratory that would make Tony Stark jealous. He handed them each a sleek wristband. These quantum stabilizers should help you navigate the chaos. Now, let's go save the multiverse, but let's do it with kindness. With a shared look of determination and a bit of bewilderment, our heroes activated their new gear. Reality warped around them as they quantum leaped towards the epicenter of the disturbance. They materialized in the middle of the most chaotic Comic-Con imaginable, because it wasn't just one Comic-Con, but every Comic-Con from every universe smooshed together. Superheroes mingled with supervillains, anime characters battled Shakespearean actors, and in one corner, a heated debate raged between Gandalf and Dumbledore over proper beard maintenance. At the center of it all stood a figure that made Sarah's cosmic senses tingle with danger. It was Commander Zix of the Cracks, but not as they knew him. This version crackled with dark quantum energy, wielding a staff that seemed to be tearing holes in reality itself. Behold, Quantum Zix cackled. I found the nexus of all realities. With this power, I'll reshape the multiverse in the image of the Cracks. Sarah's eyes narrowed. Not if we have anything to say about it, Lizard Breath. What followed was a battle that defied description, mostly because it kept changing as reality warped around them. One moment, Sarah was surfing a tidal wave of quantum foam, blasting Zix with cosmic energy. The next, The Rock, both versions, were tag-teaming the villain in a professional wrestling ring made of pure light. Zephyr, meanwhile, darted between realities, sealing breaches and stabilizing dimensional walls. It was like trying to patch a boat while inside a washing machine that was also on fire. As the battle reached its climax, Sarah had an epiphany. Guys, we can't beat in with force. We need to harmonize the chaos. Taking a deep breath, Sarah reached out with her cosmic senses, feeling the pulse of every reality around them. She began to hum, a sound that resonated with the very fabric of the multiverse. The Rock, catching on quickly, added his voice to hers. Soon, Zephyr joined in, its energy vibrating in perfect harmony. Even Cardigan Rock contributed, his soothing tones a counterpoint to the cosmic melody. As their symphony of reality grew, the chaos around them began to stabilize. Quantum Zix's power faltered, the rifts in space-time slowly closing. With a final, reality-shaking chord, the multiverse snapped back into alignment. Quantum Zix, his power broken, shrunk down to the size of an action figure, which was promptly picked up by an excited Comic-Con attendee who thought it was exclusive merch. As the dust settled and bewildered comic book fans from 1,000 realities tried to figure out what just happened, our heroes shared a triumphant grin. Now that, The Rock said, brushing interdimensional dust off his shoulder, is what I call a multiversal smackdown. Sarah laughed, her cosmic aura dimming as she powered down. Just another day in the life of Earth's defenders, right? Zephyr pulsed contentedly. The multiverse is saved, but I sense our adventures are far from over. Cardigan Rock beamed at them all. Won't you be my interdimensional neighbors? As they prepared to return to their own reality, Sarah couldn't help but feel a thrill of excitement. They'd saved the Earth, the galaxy, and now the entire multiverse. Whatever came next, she knew that with her unlikely team by her side, they were ready for anything. Little did they know, in a dimension far beyond their perception, ancient cosmic entities were taking notice of these young upstarts from Earth. The game was changing, and the stakes were about to get even higher. But that, as they say, is a story for another quantum leap.